Now, it doesn't cause a lot of doubt in the room when you ask someone if Doc Rivers is a great coach, but is he really the kind of coach who your team can rely on in big games, especially after looking at his embarrassing record in Game 7s, where he is currently at just 6 wins out of 16 Game 7s played, and the fact that he has now lost 5 consecutive Game 7s across 2 different franchises? Probably not. So it definitely came as a surprise to everyone when Milwaukee Bucks hired Doc Rivers in the middle of their season after letting go of Adrian Griffin, and then he was immediately made the head coach for the Eastern unit in the All-Star game as well. Now, Rivers has started his coaching tenure at Milwaukee in rather terrible fashion, winning 2 out of his first 7 games and winning his first home game as head coach versus Charlotte Hornets on February 9th, 2024. So, with his highly questionable record and a lack of championships since 2008, is Doc Rivers really the worst big game coach in the NBA right now? Well, the last time that Rivers won a Game 7 was all the way back in 2015 when he coached the Clippers to a 2-point victory in the first round of the playoffs. Following which it was in the conference semifinals that the Clippers had a meltdown against Houston and eventually lost the series. And since then, Rivers lost 2 more series with the Clippers, 1 each against Utah and Denver, and then twice with Philadelphia against Atlanta and Boston, most recently in the 2023 playoffs. The crucial part to note here is that the teams led by Doc surrendered their leads in 2015 versus Houston and then in 2020 versus Denver, proving once again how Doc had just not figured out the right mix to close games effectively. His losses are so infamous across the NBA that The Athletic actually did a piece where they highlighted how Doc could have ideally adjusted his Clippers in Game 6 against Houston in the 2015 playoff loss, with a highlight of that game being James Harden sitting out a majority of the fourth quarter and then Houston winning Game 6 and 7 to clinch the series. First, tightening an already tight rotation would be priority number 1. Doc Rivers would be risking injury and/or effectiveness if he played Griffin 42 minutes, Jordan 42, or Paul 41, more minutes, but Redick 36, and Barnes 31. Or could have played more? Second, the Clippers didn't go to Griffin enough in post-up and isolation situations, or the dangerous 4-1 pick and roll, in which Paul screens for Griffin to attack a guard with a runway. They also highlighted how Blake Griffin came up short in the fourth quarter and went 0 for 5 in shooting in that game, discussing how he appeared indecisive and not making effective use of wide-open shooters. Other reasons were also shared, highlighting plenty what could have happened compared to what actually happened. And perhaps there are multiple other things which Rivers could have done to prevent embarrassment for the teams that he has led over the years. And it's not just losing games that's the problem, it's also blowing leads within those games, and the examples are far too many to recount, from games played not just in playoffs, but even in regular season with his latest team as well. As reported by Yardbark from their article on February 7th, that referenced their first 5 games under Rivers in the 9-day, 5-game road trip that started after Rivers was hired on January 26. The Bucks have blown leads of 19 points versus Jazz, 15 points versus Mavericks, and 13 points versus Nuggets, while dropping 1 spot to 3rd place in the Eastern Conference standings. That is quite shockingly absurd for a coach as esteemed as Rivers. The Bucks' defense is a problem, considering they have a 116.9 defensive rating after 53 games as per StatMuse. And with this ongoing loss of leads within games, along with Adrian Griffin's firing, raises more questions than it provides solutions for Doc Rivers, who needs to make immediate changes to ensure that the Bucks and Rivers himself can contest for another title. Will he do it? Well, the odds are against him, all eyes are on him, and the season is slipping away from him, so he needs to act now. And on that note, we come to the end of this video. Do make sure you like it, hit that subscribe button to join our growing community, and let us know in the comments if you think Doc Rivers will finally win a ring and not blow up a lead, and we will see you in the next one.